Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. As you can see, we didn't do too well in Summoner Duels S. We started out in Tier 9 this week, or this season, so pretty standard shenanigans. We ended up just kind of slapping somewhat reasonable teams together, but at the end of the day, they're all pretty bad again. So, of course, the last team we always use as a bait team. Probably shouldn't have put Duma in, but I just wanted to because he got a remix. It just made the fourth team much weaker than it needed to be to someone looking at the team. So let's get into the replays. Notice there's already a bit of lag going on. That's not good. But first match is essentially Legendary Marv Raid Boss team with Harmonized Sheeta chillin'. So our win condition is essentially just take out Legendary Marv. That's it. As long as we have even just one of our ranged units left, and a dancer would be a plus to keep around, but not necessary. We're pretty much in business to win. Now the problem is, this first match of the season, I was under the assumption that Osteus Pulse 2 is like Quick and Pulse for some reason. But no, it only gives the -1 special cooldown acceleration at the start of the turn when your special's at maximum cooldown, so I was expecting to get Deadeye, it didn't happen. I was like, oh, well, our plan's out the window. So the only way we're ever going to take out Legendary Marv reasonably is by sacking one of our units to whittle him down and then taking him out. So, of course, the Elamine and especially their Fallen Ninian easily going to wall Legendary Lilna, so they don't have to be afraid of her in that respect. But we do get some memery going on. Here we dance Legendary Lilna to protect her, of course. And they decided to pick up the kill on Brave Erica, but I feel like that was not ideal because the thing is, Plumeria's buffing Crom's res, and that is going to hurt them here because they get that damage and they even get dance, they go for the kill. But the problem is, Elamine is at 100% HP, so Rangreether is procced, meaning -6 attack. No penalties on Crom, so this res debuff doesn't do anything. And that just means Elamine is actually unable to take out Legendary Crom, and so that is a death sentence for them. We have now officially already won the match because we have Legendary Lilna still, because we left Plumeria to block the way. And so now there's just nothing I can do. The dance ensuring that Crom can't get taken out by Elamine, and well, the rest of their calves are hyper frail to Legendary Lilna, so there's no way they can win, especially since they have to play aggressively here, since they are down on points. That's the thing I don't like about Summoner Duels, is you have to have a mechanic like this so that people don't just camp around for years, but at the same time, people still camp around for years, especially when they have the point advantage, because it's usually not advantageous to rush into the opponent's territory. And by opponent's territory, I just mean their threat range of units. Typically, if you don't have a safe unit especially, you're not just gonna plop one of your units in their threat range, unless it's maybe like their dance or something. So this team, kind of interesting. The two main threats we have to deal with on the opposing team are the Kalik and Ephraim. We actually just do not care about Fallen Ike at all because his attack stat is pretty garbage. And sure, he can get Mayhem Ether in one round if he procs it, which is pretty likely, but just does not have very high damage output. So like for example, Chrom could just wall around from them, and because their Fallen Knight doesn't have guard, we can just charge up Deadeye again if we want to. And just nuke him that way if we really want to, because, again, the damage output is not there. So essentially, we just have to make sure that we can take out Gaelic, which basically involves Legendary Lilna and Legendary Lilna. That's it. She's our best shot at actually picking up the kills here. Auto Battle kicked in, so Brave Erica moved to that particular spot, and Nils ended up dancing Brave Erica, so it just so happens that we almost took out Ephraim, but this was not part of our strategy. It was just auto battle kicking in. And here we go, of course, for the revenge kill on their Fallen Ike, and they draw back, which is a huge mistake from the respect of trying to have any chance of winning, because they just let us take out Fallen Ike for free. At least with Ephraim still here, they would have the first action and they could take out Legendary Chrom one round if they so chose. But of course they would get revenge killed by someone, and with these two guys left, not really much they could do to win anyways. So most of the time this season though, all we did for banning is the same thing like usual. Every time we see Duo Dagger auto ban, because capture points are too powerful. Once you have the 2-point advantage on capture points, if your opponent cannot absolutely steamroll your team, aka take all of your units out, or get the capture zone points themselves in return, you're just screwed. Because you most of the time can't approach the enemy team, especially if they have Kanto options. They just get a free kill and leave, and now you're just in an even worse state than before. So they decided to be hyper aggressive like this, and one of their win conditions is keeping dual Corn around, so they're just gonna pick up that exchange no matter what. And to make things worse for them, Hell can't even pick up the kill on Ascended Leg Yarn, minus res by the way. And so that's terrible, because now we can just plop Ash in range. Hell is unable to kill even with, I believe that's Glimmer. And we actually don't even care about Brave Erica because we can one-shot the counter, but we just simplify our shenanigans by leaving, because we want to place Ash one space down, just so we have extra mobility, like so. And so they're going to move forward and be aggressive like so, but the problem is now we can just cash in on the kill on Brave Erica, and because of Ash's opening retainer, we can fling in Harmonized Catcher to take out their knot, and the match is over because Legendary Nana is just going to be able to wipe out all their remaining units, so not great for them. Spoiler alert, this was a pretty sad match. Plenty of things gone wrong in this matchup, but the main thing that went wrong is this whole season I went most of the matches no daily damage calcs, just to see what happened, because again I didn't care too much about the season since we didn't even have any of the bonus units, so we were going to lose up plenty of glory anyways from our losses, so I figured might as well go with it. Here I don't know if what they were exactly trying to do there. I know they didn't know we had erosion, but I just feel like there's no point in having their odor there, even if you were trying to proc Menace or something. It just isn't worth it if the enemy has erosion like we do, because now we just get a free kill. And so at this point, we are at a completely winning position. All we need to do is essentially take out their Legendary Chrom and it's game over. So I know what they're preparing, so I plopped Atri there because I was willing to sack or exchange Legendary Sigurd for Harmonized Catria just so they had less triangle attack shenanigans. But the problem here is that we are unable to capitalize because we play this wrong, essentially. So, where they're going to dance, and so we just dance A-tree in the back. And they go for that, and here we make a huge mistake. Should not have picked up the kill on Ascended V-Arm there. Not worth it at all. I didn't know this at the time because I was under the assumption that A-tree could take out Legendary Crom, but spoiler alert, you can't. So it's just GG for us trying to win, because now they just dance here, and because I was originally planning on pivoting Hector up, I decided not to. If I did pivot Hector, at least we would have gotten that, and we would have been able to go for a win here. But unfortunately, because then we could reposition A-tree and do things from there. But because of this position, we were forced to take out their Legendary Azura, and likewise they're forced to revenge kill on A-tree. And here's where we just throw the match. I moved my Brave Hector. What I was supposed to do is hit end turn so that we get the first action and just move Legendary Azura out of the way, match is done. That's it. But we didn't do that. So I thought it was turn 5. I was like, oh, the match is over. And then turn 5 showed up. I was like, oh, darn. So we just threw the match. Unfortunate. Was not a match we should have lost once we got Odor for free, but, well, as I like to say, we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. Ah, yes. So bad. And, well, here we're up against another troublesome team. I believe this person had basically the trio of units we generally don't want to be up against. There's Harmonized Sonya. Main reason why we don't want to go up against her is because of her Harmonized skill. And, of course, her mobility, AoE shenanigans, and whatnot. But of course they had Duo Dagger, Yuri, and all the usual. So we don't have much of a choice in terms of options for that. So here we do have Erosion, and so they don't want to flop their units that aren't Brave Hector on one of these tiles here to go for the Harmonized Sonya extra mobility over the wall shenanigans. Because if we have Erosion, like we do, we can just pick up the kill on whoever it is. Except that I don't think Legendary Luna can actually take out Brave Hector when he has Far Save prop. But I didn't do our daily damage calcs here, we just happened to get an absolutely rigged one-round KO. But the problem is, that was probably just still a bad exchange regardless, because they get to keep their Harmonized Sonya here. And that's about it. Just because their Harmonized Sonya still exists, we're in trouble. And of course, having A-tree there is also a problem. I decided to put Crom up to be in range of the AoE, just to encourage them to do it. Not that it matters, because the game is lost at this point for us already. So I just decided to do this and sack because there's really nothing to do. They don't have enough actions to finish us off though. They popped the Duels skill here, probably didn't check the actions count. So they're unable to end the match there, so we can pick up one more kill to slightly reduce our glory loss. Not really going to matter, of course. Because what is that? 2 extra glory. That's definitely not going to change anything relevant. And there you go. So if we wanted to beat this team somehow, we would have to exchange Brave Erica for like Brave Hector, which is basically impossible in this matchup. And they would just slowly be able to press forward in a tactical way, you know, under the assumption that we might have Erosion. So our best bet would be to hope that they essentially screw up, which is not a great win condition, especially when you start playing against better players. Not entirely sure what our win condition really a reasonable win condition really entailed in that matchup, but here in this matchup we have a pretty straightforward win condition. If we exchange Brave Erica for Brave Hector, we're basically already won the match, because they are at already a huge actions disadvantage. No Dancer, so once their, say, offensive unit hits on turn, they're not going to be able to attack that turn. Simple as that. So we can just stall our time and get away with it. And here we danced Lona precisely because I figured that we might try this. Have legendary or Ash flop into the same spot that we did earlier and use opening retainer to give their ranged units more attack range. But I was willing to exchange legendary Lona there because, again, our actions advantage is so huge. But they make a critical mistake here by flipping Brave Hector down, because now they're forced to move Brave Hector first, which is very committal, or they have to reposition one of their other units, and that also would be terrible because they don't have Kanto. So Brave Erica with her Kanto is a huge problem for them. And well, they can't do anything really here, so they just back up and we take advantage of that, pick up the kill on Brave Hector, and the match is good as won because we have way too many actions over them. And on top of that, their Guinevere can't take out Brave Erica, so we're just going to win cleanly at this point, and there's nothing they can do about it. So here we just extra troll and don't let them get any potential for additional kills, and they end up just surrendering here because there's, again, nothing they can do. That's definitely a fundamental problem I do have with not having save armor units, especially far save in Summoner Duels, because the pure purpose of that far save unit on any of my squads, if I were to put a far save unit on, is just to waste an opponent's action taking them out. Because I could care less if they can survive the slew of ranged nukes running around, because most of them can't without running, say, Hardy Fighter Aegis. And then at that point, stuff like even Pulse Tide becomes a problem, or just Pulse Tide in general. We can't re-accelerate it. And so, not great. Kanto control would be nice to have, but we're not going to be getting that anytime soon. You might have noticed we could have gone for this kill on Atri a long time ago because, of course, we have Erosion. We decided to wait just to see what they did. They ended up putting Rhea back in range of the AoE, and they also had Harmonized Mia come up to threaten both Luna and Chrom, so I decided to exchange then, but the match is again already over because we get this kill, essentially free kill, on their Harmonized Mia. They can't do anything. So we have Deadeye on Legendary Chrom ready to nuke their young Mia, as long as she's not in range of Henriette, but we could take Henriette out to a Brave Erica. We could just even exchange and we would still be winning easily. So again, not great for the opponent. Now we have the mirror match, Kappa. Not actually, but have legendary Luna captains. And, well, again, Ascended Fiora we don't care much for. We don't care too much about Legendary Sheeta because, of course, Legendary Luna does come with Hardy Bearing in her weapon as long as she's above 25%. And we have Legendary Chrom, of course. With Deadeye, absolutely no way he's missing the kill on her. And even Legendary Hector could just wall a shot because he has the damage reduction. So that's nice. Of course, Brave Erica has no shot of surviving because it's Brave Erica. Her damage reduction is pretty useless when you don't have enough HP for it. And here we just dance Brave Erica because I actually do my daily damage calcs there and saw that legendary Lilna could not pick up a kill. But they just leave their legendary Lilna to get nuked by ours, and so the match is basically already over. We're now prepared to threaten their young Shida. So we used to change fate there. And they move in their Ascended Fjorm, but we don't care. Because again, we have Erosion, so now we just take out their legendary Shida. And not much they can do. In fact, speaking of nothing they can do, Ascended Fjorm can't even double legendary Lilna, so that's just a death sentence for Ascended Fjorm. And the match is over because they can't deal with our massive actions advantage. And so we just put all of our units in to make sure that it's impossible for them to possibly win. As long as we don't mistap, we have 3 units that can threaten Harmonized Shida, and she's not bulky enough to take less than 3 damage from any of these units, so we can always chase down the Harmonized Shida no matter who they target. And well, here we're up against an interesting team again. Ascended Fjorm, not the greatest once again. She definitely just has too many problems, even though she has a ton of effects. Honestly, Niffle's Bite is just too niche. One, you can't even face tank stuff. There's no point in healing after combat if you can't survive combat. You know what I mean? So, here they decided to play pretty aggressive, and so I decided to adjust our playstyle to be slightly passive, but still aggressive at the same time, making sure we have units in corresponding threat range areas. So we have our melee units closer up front, of course, because that's what we want. Our win condition here is essentially just take out Ursula, and that's it. Ascended Fjorm is not a problem for Ascended Legiarm because you have Flash of Steel and way too much attack and speed for Ascended Fjorm to handle, so we don't care about Ascended Fjorm as much. But again, the value of Ascended Fjorm is having one of our units waste an action to take her out. So here we play aggressive and plop in Ashe to start going offensive, and they bring back the Ursula super far back. So I decided to go for the kill here, and they end up dancing Ursula, or singing, so that they can pick up the revenge kill with Captain to get the extra point, which I think was a pretty good play. But now they're on the run, and we can pick up this kill with Nana and retreat back. The problem is, again, we can play pretty aggressive here. They can pick up the kill with Ursula like they do here, but we can just advance forward like so, and now we're threatening all of their units. I decided to not exchange for their Harmonized Azura because I figure they're going to overextend, and they do. So the problem is they have to overextend here so that we don't get capture points. That's the point. And now the problem is their Ursula is too far back, so we can take advantage of that. And here I already calced out that their Harmonized Azura could not take out Harmonized Ketria. So now we can finally abuse Harmonized and Duo skills in Summoner Duels by using it to burn in action. Now the match is over because their Harmonized Azura is in range to get nuked. And it's turn 5, so unfortunately for them, that extra action we had from our Harmonized skill is enough to win the game. And that's the thing with Harmonized and Duo heroes and Duels. They're just too powerful in that respect that using their Duo and Harmonized skills takes up an entire action. Which at first people thought was, again, not great because then you couldn't super chain a ton of actions in one turn. But since both sides have a finite amount of turns or actions, and the same amount to start with for that matter. Yeah, being able to burn your actions while basically doing nothing is huge. And so, we're up against Moo Man here, and we've faced this person many times in regular duels in Coliseum, or just Duels R and Duels S. So, I don't think we've ever won against them yet. We just don't ever have the right team to really try for a win here. The problem again is threat range. They have their harmonized Sonya for threat range. So they can just buy their time because they can pressure us with the capture point advantage. They have more space than we do, and we can't gain any space on them because that would involve some really strong aggression from the opponent. So like, say we put Legendary Hector in range of just harmonized Sonya, like right here. They could opt to kill, and then even when we revenge kill, that's when they can start essentially pressing their actions advantage at that point over us. They already have a huge actions advantage and 2 harmonized skills and a duo skill. So yeah, we just went for kills because we didn't have much of an option anyways. And so, rip us. Decide to just wait, because why not? It's not like harmonized Catria is going anywhere. And we're just kind of doing whatever, because again, there's really not much we can do at this point. We just pick up the kill on Duo Crom to decrease how much glory we lose from this match. And so
Here we go.
No way they're giving us another kill, especially after burning that harmonized skill. So it's just GG for us. Nothing we can do. And while they can pick up the kill here on Legendary Hector, they just choose not to. I don't know if they're trying to flex or SP farm or something, but yeah, match is over. Nothing we can do. In fact, Brave Erica can't even take out Harmonized Catria, so as you can see, we just get one shot on the counter even. So, just another loss, and that closes out our season. So, as you can see, we definitely lost a good amount of glory here. It didn't matter too much at the end of the day. This loss is just so sad. You're even in a much... We could have won this match and gotten a good amount of glory, aka like probably plus 110 or something. I don't know, but all these losses for the minus 40 plus glory definitely hurts. At the end of the day, I don't care too much. Somehow, somewhere, we might end up in top 1k for once. I'm pretty sure that's just due to people quitting duels. The more people that quit, the easier it is for us to make top 1k, but I don't think we'll quite make it. There's 6 hours left. People like to save these kind of events for the last few hours, so I imagine we'll probably be just top 3k again, but I'm pretty sure there's no way we aren't at least top 3k, so that's nice. But that's gonna be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Ether Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye!